I just call it Snowball. But it's not Snowball, of course, it's Snowman. Now, we're spoiled for choice here in Northern Ireland, in the province, because not only is the snowman... That thing's coming out of my ear, no?
Do you want me to help you?
Yeah, don't tell them who you are, because they don't know who you are. Oh, thank you very much. Very much.
Great.
No, thank you.
Just
Thank
blown
you.
it.
Thank you. Not only is the Snowman on at the Lyric in the Ulster Hall tonight, and twice tomorrow, the composer of the Snowman, Howard Blake, is conducting that very music, played by the Ulster Orchestra. Now, a few minutes ago, the curtain fell on the Ulster Hall, but by means of modern transport, both the composer and the very famous narrator shouldn't be too far away. As a matter of fact, they're sitting here. So please welcome Howard Blake, and a very special welcome from narrator Sarah Green.
What? Do you know, I'm going to give you an ear strimmer for Christmas, Gerry, because that's why your earpiece won't stay in. It's quite hairy in there, you know. I just had a little feel.
Well, it used to be that hairy until I became, with over 30 years of age. This is the very important man. I want to talk to Howard first.
Believe me, I know.
Howard, you wrote this beautiful music.
Yes, I did, yes.
You must be very proud.
Oh, I'm very proud of it. Thank you.
Did you think, when you sat down to do that, did you think it would receive such, well, so universal popularity?
I had no idea at all. I had this tune in my head, the Walking in the Air tune, years ago, and it went around my head, and one day I saw this producer, and he showed me this idea of the Snowman, and I thought that's where that tune should go. It's been in my head, it should go, and I thought it would be wonderful to do a whole film with just music.
Yeah.
And that's how it started.
So you read the book, and the book actually, did that coincide with what was going on in your head?
I saw this film producer, John Coates.
Yeah.
He had taken the book from Raymond Briggs, and he made a little piece in pencil, 7 minutes long.
Yeah.
And he showed me that. He showed me that piece of film, and he said, "Do you think you could do anything with that?" And I said, "I think I could do the whole thing with music. Would you let me try and see if the music could tell the whole story and do all the action and say all the words?" That's how. And so he said, "All right, we'll have a go." And I did that, including the song Walking in the Air, and we took it into television, and they said, "Go ahead and do it." It was one of those things where all the right people then sort of seemed to be in the right place at the right time, and it was very relaxed, and I sat down and wrote the whole thing. It was half an hour, and we thought it would go on television once, and that would be that. But it sort of hit the screen, and everybody sort of took it to their heart, you know.
For a moment there, my jaw dropped. I thought you said you wrote the whole thing in half an hour.
No, I'm not. I wouldn't make a claim like I said. The film lasted half an hour. It took me a lot of work.
I know. And what about this glamorous narrator?
Well,
Sarah Green here. You must be terribly pleased to have her.
Flattery will get you everywhere,
yes,
Gerry, I tell you.
Sarah, are you associated with the show on a kind of a long-term basis, or just kind of, you know,
I hope so. Keep saying that, put the idea in his head. No, I've worked with a few different orchestras on pieces like Young People's Guide to the Orchestra, Benjamin Britten, Peter and the Wolf, and several months ago the opportunity came up. I was offered the chance to narrate The Snowman, and when I discovered that Howard was also going to be conducting the whole concert, I mean, I leapt at the chance, and also to come over here, because I've worked here twice before, and each time I have had the best time, and it hasn't been like work, it's been like coming on holiday. You get such a warm welcome, and again it's happened this time. And I've got quite a few relatives by marriage over here, so I've been catching up with them as well. And Barbara, my mother-in-law, has come over with me, and we're like a couple of girls in the dorm. So when I'm not with Howard having fun on stage narrating The Snowman, we're back all over Ulster at the moment, giggling and having fun and laughing. So that's great. Yes, it's absolutely terrific.
You're a bubbly little person. They like you here.
Bubbly? You sound like Dame Edna then. You're a bubbly little person, darling.
We like bubbly people. We don't like people who are serious. But you're not a bit serious. I like that.
But I mean, I'm quite serious at times.
I know.
Only when I can be serious.
Only when it's required. Now tell me this. Now you started off basically. Well, I suppose you could say you started off in Blue Peter.
When I started off in the theatre, which is why this is nice, because it's like going back. And then I was cast in 2 television series, one straight after the other. Put your teeth back in. Just put those teeth right back in there now.
I'll have the full one, please. Yes.
Bless his heart. Look, oh dear, and another job he's got the sack from. Oh, God. Listen, there's a job going as an assistant. No, what are you for?
No, don't tell him what it is. I know what it is. Don't tell him what it is.
No, I'm sorry. Well done.
It's a pole.
You just... I went into one of those BBC classic drama serials, Sunday evening things they used to do, and they're now starting to do again, thank heavens. And I was spotted from that, really, and the editor of Lupita asked me if I'd go along to audition. And I fell about laughing. I thought it was the funniest idea. And all my mates, also actors, actresses, musicians, musos, quite a wild bunch, said, you've got to do it for a day and bring us back a badge. So there I was in my flat, which I was sharing with 100 people, with the ironing board out, trying to juggle bits of toilet roll and, and sticky back plastic and make something for the audition. Went in and did this and got the job.
You've done really well, though. I mean, a lot of people disappear without trace after Blue Peter, but you went on from strength to strength.
I didn't stay very long. I didn't stay, but I stayed for 3 seasons, which I think that was the shortest anybody stayed on it.
Yeah.
For that very reason. It was a great adventure to do for 3 years, and the best training you can imagine. No auto cue, live twice a week, lots of filming, thrown into every conceivable situation. Dropping things on the floor in the studio, you know, can't cut around it. And it's like a sort of university of live television. So after that, anything that came up, well, not anything, but a lot of the events television, anything that came up that was live, the hospital watches, the airport watches, the rail watches, the this watch, the ghost watches, was asked to do that. So it's been a very broad cross-section, and I hope it keeps going that way. You
had to delve into the reserves of your strength recently when the big breakfast called on you very early in the morning. Tell us about that.
I wish I could, Gerry. You see, the awful thing is, Howard doesn't know what you're talking about here.
Explain it for him.
I was fast asleep. I'd like to know. I was fast asleep. Show on Channel 4, Howard, called The Big Breakfast. And they visit people live on air every morning, and they decided they were going to come and visit us at home. And they didn't tell either one nor the other of us, you see. So I was fast asleep under my duvet, and I started to have this dream. And I'm very fond of Keith Chegwin, and I'll be quoted on that.
Yes, yes.
Right? He's an old mate. And we'd worked together the previous summer. And I had this nightmare. No, I had this dream that Keith was shouting through my letterbox and that the phone was going. I thought, oh, this is just a bad dream. It'll pass away in a moment. And sure enough, it did. But when I actually came round and surfaced into the world, I realised it had actually happened.
He barged in on you?
Well, no, he didn't ever get in because I was fast asleep. My old man was up looking out the window going, oh, I wish they'd go away. But I was out of it.
Did you fall out with them over that, you and hubby?
No, it wasn't a falling out. It was more a disagreement in what makes good television and what doesn't. And I think what makes good television is when you've tipped off one person, like This Is Your Life or Surprise, all the other shows that feature people being burst in on, and not many of those are actually done live. But if you haven't tipped off anybody and nobody knows, you're liable to stagger in on a situation where somebody might have passed away next door, you don't know who you're disturbing, you don't know what's going on, and you can't set up a good gag. And there's one thing we all like to see on television is a good gag. And I think, you know, that's why it helps to tip off one person. So now they've actually changed the format of that item, where they will tip off either a partner or a relative or a friend, so that there's some chance to get a good gag going.
Okay then. Well, you've had an interesting life. And I must also say that tomorrow, 2 performances of The Snowman in the Ulster Hall. Sarah Green and Howard Blake, thank you very much.
Thank
Sarah
you,
Green,
Gerry. It's been a pleasure.
Nice to talk to you.